Ciao e benvenuti al tavolo italiano. Welcome to the Italian table. Today we're looking at the Italian alphabet and pronunciation of the Italian language. Before we get started, a simple disclaimer. I do tend to use and teach some generalizations and even some sound exaggerations. However, I do that because it's helped me as an American. I must confess I've been a little bit lazy in how I've spoken English. And I found that following this path helps to lead me to good pronunciation of the Italian language. Also, with most, if not all, the information presented in this video and on our website, there's always exceptions to every rule. We will deal with these as we come across them in our studies. Now let's take a look at our lesson. The Italian alphabet. The native Italian alphabet only has 21 letters. In the chart below, you'll see I have the letter here, which is the English letter, the Italian name for that English letter, and then here I have a sounds like column. Now this isn't what the letter necessarily sounds like in use. This is what the name of the letter sounds like. This may all seem trivial, but trust me, you're really going to want to pay attention to the Italian alphabet, learning it, learning how to say all the sounds of the letters. That way when you ask come si scrive, how do you write, and someone responds in Italian, you'll understand what letters are referring to. Also, you want to make sure you practice proper Italian pronunciation as well as possible in everything that you do. It's going to make your life so much easier when it comes to learning Italian. If you fail to get a grasp on the pronunciation of the Italian language now, it's really going to make the road a little more difficult. So take advantage of this lesson and others like it that are on pronunciation and practice them as much as possible and get it down pat. Now let's take a look at the letters. I'll say the English letter and then I'll say what it sounds like in Italian. So the letter A is A. The letter B is B. The letter C is C. The letter D is D. The letter E is E. The letter F is F. The letter G is G. The letter H is H. I is E. L is L. M is M. N is N. O is O. P is P. Q is Q. R is R. Okay, I'm envious of those of you that can roll your R's well. I can't, but you get the idea. R. S is S. T is T. U is U. And V is V or V. Z is Zeta. All right, this time, let's just say the names of the Italian alphabet and Italian, and I'll pause in between each one long enough for you to repeat it, so you can practice saying the Italian alphabet as well. A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. L. M. N. O. P. Q. R. S. T. U. V or V. Zeta. Very good. Now let's look at the other 5 letters that are found in Italian language. but they're usually found in words of foreign origin. Here are the Italian names of these letters from words of foreign origin, letters that make up the other 5 letters of our alphabet. Here we go. In J, the name is pronounced Ilunga. K, the name is pronounced Kappa. W, W. X, X, and finally Y is Y or Y. Okay, I'll say the Italian name for these letters. I'll pause so you can repeat. Let's go through this one time. Then we'll get into some Italian pronunciation. Ilunga, Kappa, W, X, Y. Very good. For the time being, when speaking Italian, always pronounce the vowels in the following manner. A is always A. E is always A. I is always E. O as O. And U as U. So sempre, meaning always. For now, sempre, sempre, sempre. A, E, I, O, U. Okay. Next, Italian diphthongs. If you have an I before an accented U, it sounds like a Y as in yet. For instance, if you had the word P, I, accented U in Italian, that's pronounced as più, più. Then the other one is if you have an U that comes before an O, it creates a W sound, as well as the U and O sounds that are already there. For instance, if you take the word U, O, M, O, it sounds like uomo, uomo. Più and uomo. Now, Italian consonants. The C, when followed by A, O, or U, is just like a hard C in English, as in cat, cut, cot. However, when it's followed by an I or an E, it becomes what they consider a soft C. But a soft C in Italian isn't like an S, it's more like a CH, as in chip. So a word that you're probably already familiar with, ciao, C-I-A-O, ciao. You'll notice how it's a CH sound there, and the C is directly followed by an I, ciao. If you had the word C-E-N-A, that's pronounced cena. So you can see, whenever a C is followed directly by an I or an E, it sounds like the CH in chip. However, when you have a C that is then followed by an HI or an HE, in other words, if you insert an H in between the C and the I, or the C and the E, it's no longer a soft C as in chip, but it's more like the K as in key. So the word CHI is key. Because if you remember up here, the I always sounds like E. So CHI would be key. CHE would be K. So CI is chi, but CHI is key. CE is che, but CHE is K. The same rules hold true with G. If you have a G that's followed by an I or an E, it sounds like the J is in jello. As opposed to G followed by A, O, or U, as with the C, it remains hard at that point in time. Like gusto or goat. But when it's followed by an I or an E, it's affected the same way that a C is, except the soft G is G, J, is in jello. One word that you may be familiar with is the word that is spelt starting with G-E-L, gelato. Okay, gelato. Or another one would be the one that starts with G-I-O, giorno, giorno. So you can see in both of those instances, because the G is followed directly by an I or an E, it sounds like the J in jello. Now, just like with the C, if you insert an H in between the G and the I, or the G and the E, then it becomes hard again, as in gat. So with the C, C followed by I or E is CH. G followed by I or E is J. But if you insert the H directly after the C or the G, before the I or the E, then they both become hard again. One more situation that follows the same rule is SC. In English, we would always pronounce that sk, like scat or school. However, in Italian, if the C, when it's followed by I or an E, sounds like a CH as in chip, then it only stands to reason that SC followed by I or E sounds like SH as in shelter or ship. For instance, the word SCENDERE is scendere, scendere. And just like with just the C by itself and the G by itself, if you insert an H before the I or E and directly after the SC, then the SC becomes hard. Then we have the sound as in scatter. A perfect English word, actually, that illustrates this is the word school, because we spell that S-C-H-O-O-L, school. That's exactly how that would be pronounced in Italian as far as the SCH. It has the sk sound. Finally, our last two examples in a straight consonant pronunciation is GN. Whenever you have a GN together, it sounds like the N as in onion, as in gnocchi. You may be familiar with that, gnocchi. It's just like the N as an onion. When you have a GLI all together, it sounds very similar to the double L in million, million. Probably the most familiar word is familia, familia. Italian syllabicization and double consonants, you'll find more often than not that the syllables in Italian are divided as follows. Whenever you have a single consonant in between two vowels, the next syllable starts with the consonant, almost always. So in the case of our first word down there, we have sono, sono. So whenever you have a single consonant, you always break the syllable after the vowel and before the consonant. Now, if you have a double consonant, as we see in the next word, you pronounce one of the consonants at the end of the first syllable and the second consonant at the beginning of the next. Sette, sette. If that would have been only one T, it would be pronounced sete, sete. Notice I don't hit the T at the end of the first consonant in that case. But because there's two T's, it's sette, sette. And finally, when we have three consonants put together, you look at them and see which two would best go together, which makes sense according to Italian rules. In this case, we know that an H makes a C hard, so you would keep those two together, but the R would go with the first syllable. So in this case, it's perché, perché. Once again, when you see double consonants, two of the same type, you pronounce them both coming into the end of the first syllable and going out of the next syllable. So otto, O-T-T-O, sounds like otto, otto, otto. Okay, although greatly simplified, I wanted to let you know that I learned this information from the book Ciao by Carlo Federici and Carla Rarese Riga, copyright 1986, pages 2 through 4, and I also picked up some of this information from the Drive Time Italian audio course, copyright 2005. Grazie mille, I'm so happy you stopped by, Il Tavolo Italiano. I hope you come back. I also hope you visit our website, iltavoloitaliano.com, where there's lots of information on this and other aspects of Italian grammar and the Italian language. All information online is always free at iltavoloitaliano.com. Grazie mille e parlo italiano. Ciao!